Yo guys, welcome back. The Beyond Football podcast has finally been taken in person now. You know, had to obviously start off online because of the pandemic, because of social distance and that, but we're back with a bang. Today I got my Barnsley FC teammate. You know, he's played in Ireland. He's able to represent Ireland and France internationally. He's played for Norwich FC. He's gone on loan at such a young age, at 19, to Harrogate in League 2. He's played in the League of Ireland for Drogheda United. You know, beyond that as well, he has such a great mentality in that he's able to use meditation to improve his performance. So, welcome, William Hondermarck, to the Beyond Football podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to drop real gems. But just before we get started, you guys need to know now that the Beyond Football podcast is supported and partnered with Manscaped. Manscaped is the best in men's under-the-waist grooming. Manscaped produce precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Literally, Manscaped has sent me the latest trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. And I'm telling you now, it's been an absolute game changer since I've used it. Literally, it reduces the amount of cuts and nicks that you get. It reduces the amount of grooming accidents. And ever since I've used it, because before I used to use my normal shaving stick for, under the waist stuff and everything. But ever since I've used it, it's just been so much easier and effective. Whenever I'm wearing my training, whenever I go to training, I have to wear slips, shorts and different training gear. And since I've been using the Lawnmower 4.0, it's just been much more comfortable. So as a professional footballer, I really recommend it. So if you want to join over 2 million people who trust Manscaped, use the code BeyondFootball at manscaped.com to get free worldwide shipping and 20% off your next order. Yeah, the link will be in the description below. But let's get into today's episode. So, how it goes, man? Was it always a dream from when you were young?
For me,
to become a professional footballer?
Not necessarily for me. I never was someone who probably had it in my mind.
Yeah.
I was just in a footballing family, sporty family, and I love footballing, but I never set out to be a footballer from young, and I just kind of played, and then got to a stage when I was about 12, 13, and my family sat me down and said, we don't want you to play football anymore unless you're going to devote yourself to it.
Yeah.
When most kids obviously just went to training.
Seriously?
At 12, 13, they sat me down and we kept multiple talks over dinner. Every couple of dinners we'd have it, and they would say, listen, we're going to stop taking you training if you don't devote yourself to it. Either you do it or you don't do it.
Wow. At 12, 13?
You decide.
That's great. That's excellent to be fair.
Decide. And they said that obviously, it's a rocky road, it's a tough road. We'll be there, but you need to decide. Either if you don't want to do it, no problem. Do it for fun and then we'll focus on school. But if we're going to invest in training,
into that,
take it to games,
have to know you're really serious.
You need to know that you're all into it and that you're going to devote everything.
Yeah.
And it was tough. There was a lot of talks, a lot of, are you mentally strong enough? Because we've seen the big picture, we didn't see it. It's like,
Wow. Do you know how crazy that is? Do you get what I'm saying? Your parents are able to sit down with you at such a young age and actually deep that. Because most parents, they don't see that bigger picture. They focus on what can I get out of it? The money.
There was a lot of question. A lot of question over, are you mentally tough enough? A lot of tears. I cried a lot.
Yeah?
Because I was pushed a lot. So sometimes I would say yeah, and then my dad would take me training and we'd do workouts and you would do sit-ups, but there wouldn't be a number of amount of sit-ups you would do.
Yeah. So basically drilling that into you.
So you do sit-ups and you're 13, so you start saying how many and you wouldn't say anything. And you start crying because you're in pain and you keep going.
Yeah.
And there was years and years of that.
Yeah. At that point, did you want to?
I wasn't even sure.
Yeah.
You kind of find it, and they said, okay, find it. But
yeah.
And then eventually, I think 15, 16, I said, yeah.
Yeah, this is what I want.
I'm ready for it, I think.
And it's mad that you say that, the drilling that your dad gave into you, the discipline that he's given into you, over the past few weeks, I've just been seeing stuff about the greats we see, Michael Jackson, people who are great. They said that their parents from a young age disciplined them so that they could be great.
Yeah.
They started learning like Michael Jackson from a young age, learning how to play, how to sing, performing from a young age. And do you feel like that drilling from a young age has led to your success of being able to play in, you've played in the championship now at 20?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a huge part. So without that, I wouldn't be where I am, because I think it's not necessarily conditioning, but it's something that sets foundations for you that you'll take forever. Stuff like, if you play a great game, you play great, but what can you do better?
Yeah.
And there's stuff like that, small stuff like that, where you focus on different things. I focus on where I can get better, not what I'm already good at. That's fine. Move on. What can you get better at? Focus on your work ethic, not the work you do, but how do you do it. So maybe you're not as good as everyone. That's fine. I wasn't that good when I was young. We didn't focus on how good you are now. It's about how do you do what you do. How do you train? It's fine if you're gonna do 2 kick-ups. Yeah. But do you do it at the max level? Do you give it everything? Yeah. Then if you do 2, that's fine. That's no problem. We don't care. But how do you do the work?
That's it.
The focus is always different. And when you have that and you grow up with that, you're naturally gonna, maybe I was slower, but eventually you're gonna get there because your focus is where it needs to be. Yeah. It's not on the fancy, the glamorous stuff. It's on what do you do and how do you do it.
The foundation.
Maybe you only train 2 minutes, but how do you train those 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Definitely. I'm really up for. I really support that, because it's just so important, and I feel like that. Literally, I'm surprised at the fact that your parents were able to have that vision, and you guys were able to have that bigger picture at such a young age. And I feel like more parents need to tap into that, because at the end of the day, as you said, we have to invest a lot at such a young age in order to get to the highest level, to become a professional footballer. And that's really beautiful to hear. But you said at that age where you didn't know, what else, did you enjoy doing, or what else, did you have another career pathway that you wanted to pursue when you're younger, like 12, 13 and stuff like that?
Not necessarily. I was very good at school.
Yeah.
I was always very good at school. I was ahead. But it wasn't necessarily that I didn't want to pursue football. It was that the level at which my parents demanded me to pursue it was a high level.
Yeah.
I could have pursued it, no problem. But they said, you don't pursue it. At this level, you don't pursue it. We're not doing nothing in between. We don't do the go to training, then because you're sick you don't go. We don't do that in this family.
Yeah.
If you do something in this family, you do it to the highest level.
That's
everything,
beautiful.
you aim for perfection. You don't cry.
That's it.
Everyone does 2 doggies, you do 10. Everyone trains twice a week, you train 4. And that's you don't pursue it.
Yeah.
You do either that or you don't. And that was a choice they have to make, because it's not easy. You want to say yes.
Yeah.
But the mental strain on a 15-year-old is different. When I'm getting up, because I used to get up at 4 a.m. sometimes. Yeah. To go work. Because then I didn't have time before school, so I had to get up at 4. Yeah. To go do my training, to come back, to go to school. I'd fall asleep in school because I'm so tired. Come back after school and I do my skipping. Yeah. My push-ups, my sit-ups, because then it's too dark. Because in winter, in Ireland, we'd have an off-season in winter. Yeah. So by the time I finish school at 4 or 5, it's already dark, so I can't train. And by the time I start school, it's dark. Only gets bright at like 8. So school day started, so I had no time. So we said, I found somewhere with a lamppost, a little patch of grass with a lamppost. I go there at 4 a.m. and train under the lamppost. Come back at 6 a.m, have my breakfast, get ready for school, go to school, come back, and then when it's dark, do my push-ups, because I don't need the light for that. And that's the level.
At 15,
16.
And you see, this is what I'm saying. This is the behind the scenes of making it pro, of the football career that young footballers go through that no one sees. The jugging that you have to do, the sacrifices you have to make, 4 a.m s. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's so mad. And the fact that obviously that is what allows you to reach the level you're at now.
Because for us, when I'm saying it, for most people that's impressive, but when I say it to my family, when we talk about it,
normal, isn't it?
It's the normal. It's not the bare minimum, but it's, you want to get to where you're going, and that's what you need to do. Why are you complaining?
And it's something that my parents have taught me as well, that my mum always tells me. It's like anything worth doing at all is worth doing well. It's like if you slack in one thing or in one area, that can manifest in other areas and then lead you to slack in other areas. But so
and there's obviously just a snippet. Some of them would do hill runs. Yeah. And my dad knew how many I could do. He knew we was like 16. Maybe you can do 6 hill sprints because they're quite long. Knowing I could only do 6, he would say do 10, just to see how far I would try. Yeah. Knowing I wouldn't be able to do 10, when I wouldn't do 10, he'd walk off, drive home, and I'd have to jog home.
No way.
But it's horrible as a parent,
Yeah.
leaving your child there, you know you can't even do it,
It's tough love though.
but he knows that when William understands that the limit is only what you set yourself.
Yeah.
And it was hard to get that. But when you're like 16 and you're living like 20 minutes away from the park and your dad's like driving off on you
Yeah.
because you didn't finish the workout. But
It's deep.
it's tough, innit? But that was like the small experiences. And there's
Yeah.
lots of them that build character, it builds personality, it builds strength.
Yeah.
So that when you get to maybe, like you said, my champ debut, I'm not going to be phased.
Yeah.
I've walked home at the age of 16
Yeah.
through mud because my dad
So it's
left me.
like, yeah.
Or I've like woken up at 6 or 4 a.m. to go train.
You've done the trench work.
I'm
so
playing on
like,
perfect grass now in front of
Yeah.
fans with teammates who played the game.
Wow.
This is easy now.
It's easy now, isn't it?
It's
It's
easy.
showtime.
It's the easiest bit now. I just get to reap everything I've sown.
Yeah. Nah, it's crazy, man. Like, so let's get into a little bit of your background. Like, so you said grew up in Ireland, from France. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Very diverse. So born in France,
yeah.
moved at the age of 5 to Ireland,
Mm.
to Dublin. Grew up there, and then at age 17, 18, obviously moved to England, moved to Norwich. But obviously my mum was Congolese,
Yeah.
so she moved from Congo at about 10. So she has a very strong Congolese heritage.
Yeah.
Her whole family's Congolese, and she moved to France. My dad was born in Germany, moved to France very young as well, so they both have their own heritages.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my grandparents were Dutch originally, Dutch Belgian. So I've
Nah.
got my grandparents who were Dutch and Belgian. That's where I get my name, Hondermarck,
Yeah.
Dutch name. My mum was obviously Congolese. That's where I get, African side.
Yeah.
My dad's obviously very French. That's where my name. Anyone who knows me knows I like. I've got my
French,
French
yeah.
side. I speak fluent French. So I've got all those cultures, and then I grew up in Ireland, so I've got the Irish culture as well, because I grew from the age of 5 to
Yeah.
18, so all my friends, my school, my football, my accent,
Yeah.
everything I get from there, and then now my adult life in a way,
Mm.
I'm getting it in England, so it's a lot of different.
diversity. There's big diversity. Like, how do you feel like that has influenced you as a person, as a guy, as you grow up, and like developed you as like the person you are to be?
It forces your mind to be open,
Yeah.
something that you don't have a choice, because half of my family, so for Christmas, my mother's side will be very loud music, colourful dresses,
Yeah.
dancing, crazy foods, and my dad's side is much more French.
Mm.
So when you're like 6, 7, 8, and you're spending half your time with this and half your time with that, it's a culture clash.
Yeah.
It
well,
forces your mind to just develop in a different way.
Mm.
So someone who's maybe Nigerian is used to the loud music, but they won't be used to the very
The
calm
other side,
French European side.
allows you to be able to relate to people in different ways.
So naturally your mind is
Yeah.
forced to just be crazily open, because you're like going through 2 different worlds,
Yeah.
but they're both yours, which is crazy, because they're both yours.
Both
You have no
yours,
culture,
yeah.
you're just half this, half that, and so you're forced to just be open. You're forced to learn to accept everything,
Yeah.
because you have no choice. It's your mum and your dad. You can't not accept them.
Yeah.
So you're just forcing your mind, and when you're like, now, I've got an extremely open and flexible mind because of what I've been through. I've travelled and spent summers in Congo, also in south of France.
Yeah.
I spent summers,
So, yeah.
on farms, in wildlife in Congo, but also on seas in the Bordeaux. So my mind is naturally.
That's the beauty. Like, it's mad because footballers, people don't really see that side of footballers.
Yeah.
The diverse side, like us as human beings, as intellectual people, just see that the stuff on the pitch and that. So it's good to be able to give people an insight into that. And when you're in Ireland growing up, like, how did you understand after that drilling and everything, the point where you made your debut and you played for Drogheda United in the League of Ireland and everything at such a young age, and how was that, as a result of all that drilling and everything?
Yeah, once again it's similar to my champ debut, as in to everyone around us it was a big moment. It was very exciting, it was well done, but when I get back in my car, my parents will come to my games, we drive home together. There was no excitement, there was obviously, it's a great achievement, but there was no surprise. It was like, okay, what's next now?
Yeah.
This was great, this was part of the path, but what's next now? Because it was like that. So I think it was always a step that we knew was going to happen.
Yeah.
But it was only just a step. It was never an
a
be all
big
end all.
achievement.
It was always just a step. Just like my champ debut, as much as people will be like, that's unbelievable, you should be. It's just a step to me.
It's just a step in the
It's
journey.
just another step. And that's what it was always like. At home, it was very calm, very focused. We never like swayed from the goal. We always stayed focused.
Yeah.
So we need to enjoy it, obviously, and celebrate it while remaining focused. We
Yeah.
celebrate today, but remember tomorrow you got training.
Yeah.
And it was always like that, very calm, very loving environment, because parents are giving a lot.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
giving their entire beings to me, to train me. My dad doesn't have to train me.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't have to coach me, but both of them are there giving up their time, their energy to me, which is the most valuable thing. So it's more valuable than money.
Yeah.
They're giving that.
It's beautiful that what you have in your family and that mentality, I feel like it's something you can't buy.
Can't.
And I feel like it's something you can learn, but it's really hard to learn.
It's priceless.
It's priceless, man. And that's the level I feel like you need, that it's indispensable to be able to achieve and get to that highest level of, playing in the Premier League in our career of football. So it's crazy.
Even anything in life, in my opinion.
100%.
With those tools, if I'm honest, I could have been anything.
Yeah.
I could have got a master's without hesitation.
100%.
And my mum got a master's while carrying a baby, having a child, and having a part-time job. So she understands. So for me, football, other sports, education, with those tools in place, you're set for anything.
Literally. It's just that it's importance of having that foundation.
Very important.
Of mentality
some and
discipline.
Some people develop over time, obviously, through experiences. You hear footballers who have a big down, maybe depression, they kind of develop over time. But obviously, I was lucky enough, I was very blessed to be able to be born with that and be kind of like bathed in that very young. And to then come into the game with an advantage over everyone. Some people will develop over time, but I was just lucky enough that in my journey, in my path, I kind of came into the game with it. But some people will develop it in different ways. That was just my own one.
So, after, playing in the League of Ireland, such a young age, Drogheda United, then, getting the chance to go to England, playing for Norwich and everything. How was that experience of, signing for Norwich, and then, that's your family, your parents still had that mentality of, listen, cool, you signed for Norwich, but listen, keep that discipline, get your education, balancing it with your education in Ireland, finishing your leaving cert. How was that experience?
The leaving cert it was kind of a no-brainer to finish my, what do you call it in England again?
It's like your A-levels.
So I finished A-levels, it was a no-brainer. I had 6 months left, and we were going to jeopardise, about 18 years of education for 6 months of football. As much as football is my dream, in life choices, 6 months of football is not worth 18 years of education. As much as you want to be, it's not worth it. So that was a short talk, it was very clear. But I think what's not spoken about for me that was tough coming to Norwich was adapting to the new lifestyle. Because I'm from Dublin, so I'm very quiet, not a big city. And then I'm coming to Norwich where a lot of the players are from London. So you got a lot of outside stuff going on now. You've got different players, you got coaches, you got opinions, you got a board, you got fans now. And you're on your own, so there's a lot of stuff to handle now when you're coming from...
At 17, so it's like moving abroad for football and another experience.
Maybe if I'd come from like a different academy, it's different. When you come from, not necessarily nothing, but much lower, and you come into this now, it's like, you have to be careful to not get lost. A lot of people get lost, and there's lads who maybe are more on going out and clubbing, and you're like, trying to gravitate, who do you gravitate towards? Because you've never been here before. Some of the lads have been through clubs, they know what goes on, but you've never been here, so... I think the most important thing for me was finding myself, knowing where do I situate myself in this dressing room. There's a lot of egos, a lot of players who've got big contracts, who've got big agents, been at big clubs. So where do you situate yourself? How do you find your comfort zone? Who are you in the change room? Do you want to be one of the loud lads? Are you more of a quiet lad? Do you go out? Do you stay at home? Where are you in all that? And that's a big thing to find yourself in the change room when you're young. We all want to be like you all want to be together, so knowing how to do that in your own way. It's hard. I'm
still staying disciplined.
Not
getting because I feel like obviously growing up in an academy system, people lose themselves. They just think like, I'm in an academy system now. They get complacent. They don't realize that. Listen, the reality of it is that only a few of us out of your age group is actually going to make it to the highest level. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like you need to have that discipline. Cool, you're at a big academy now, but you need to still work hard. That trench works that that got you there. You need to still continue doing that and more.
Yeah.
Too many people, do you know what I'm saying? Maybe the egos, as you said, and they get sucked in. They just lose sight of the end goal, the bigger picture.
It's tough, and I understand people who do that because you're young. You're like maybe 18.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to enjoy life a little bit. You got this money now to makes it accessible. I understand that feeling. I'm not gonna say it's like something crazy. I understand it.
Yeah.
And it's just understanding: is it worth it or is it not worth it?
Yeah.
Does it help me or does it not help me? Can I do this later, or do I need to do this now? If it's clubbing, can I do this later? Maybe when I'm more established in my career, when I've got more of a comfort zone, when I've played a couple games in the champion, I've got a couple hundred appearances. Then I can maybe enjoy.
Yeah.
But when I'm 18 in academy, is it worth it? Is this and it's that kind of like stability of finding that what belongs to you, what is you, and that's the hardest thing I think when you're 18. Start making money in an academy,
and that it's a big factor. Do you know what I'm saying? That I feel like your success, especially not only in football but just in life as young people, is your ability to delay gratification.
As well, yeah.
Your ability to, do you know what I'm saying? Not go to the club not, do you know what I'm saying? Buy the designer, but delay the gratification, put in the groundwork now so that in 5 years, 10 years, you're flying. And people who are, do you know what I'm saying, trying to seek that instant gratification now when you're 18 and that, do you know what I'm saying, you're going to be miles ahead of them in the next couple of years. But I feel like not a lot of young people have that mentality to, do you know what I'm saying, delay it. Especially due to like social media nowadays and everything. Yeah,
there's a big kind of competition culture now. Where, for example, I was never someone who, went the designer path very early. So I might come in less flashy clothes than everyone, and that competition aspect that I was a victim of, but I felt because I could sense it, When you come in, people are looking, and it's
especially that's the culture and a changing of academy in the academy system, especially as footballers who were known to earn like millions at this young age. You know what I'm saying? That's literally just the culture.
So that's one thing that I know. That's what I'm saying. It's hard. It's not always easy when you might have left home. You've got no backing behind you. You don't have your family now. They're far away. They're just a phone call. Yeah. So when you're coming and you're young and you get in the competition culture, people bringing you left to go out, maybe go out to London, whatever. People dragging you right to come take pictures, and you're like trying to find yourself, and it's not easy. I wouldn't blame anyone who falls to anything because I know how hard it is. Yeah. And it's a personal battle that everyone will have, no matter what. Everyone will have it in different ways. I might be me and be like, from the outside I look really grounded. I might be at home, maybe at home I don't know how to spend my time. Yeah. Some people they're like, okay, I don't go out, it's fine, I'm at home, but sometimes at home you might be like, what do I do now? Yeah. Finish training at 2.
Not doing anything productive.
I'm injured. What do I do at home? I'm in this apartment and my family are here, what do I do? And it's that could be your struggle. Everyone's got a different one. But it's just that finding yourself. Yeah. You kind of found it and you've got the path, and maybe you don't have it perfect, but you got a vision or a path. Yeah. Then you're on something, but when you haven't found it yet and you're maybe 18, 19, 20, you could be 25. There's no age for it. But that's the period where I think it's very tough being a footballer because you've got so much calling you, so much going on. Definitely. Such a fast life, such a fast-paced lifestyle that it's easy to just sway left. Yeah. Not that you mean to, but you just kind of go there and you're on this different route now.
Yeah. And that just leads perfectly into, do you know what I'm saying, asking the question, like, who are you beyond football? You talk about all this discipline, not getting swayed left and right, and the importance of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Who are you if football was to be taken away from you?
I think, personally, the first thing I'll always say is that I try to be a good person. Yeah. Is that I'll never be the best person or perfect, but every day I'll try to be. Try, if it's at training, I'm trying to make you laugh, or or if I try, when I'm asking for something from physiotherapist, I won't just say, I'll try being nice. And just little things like that. And that's the first thing. No matter who you are, what you do, how hard you work, be a good person first. You can work as hard as you want. It doesn't give you any, power over anyone. No matter if you work hard and they don't work hard, you still owe respect, especially when footballers sometimes. it's easy to get that ego, and we get that, feeling of power because we've got fans.
Yeah.
We're signing autographs. We're going out in front of 15,000. It's easy to get that. That's the main thing I try just to remember. I'm just a small man. I'm just a piece. I'm just like a drip of water in the ocean. So there's no need to ever think I'm anything. So just be a good person first.
Yeah.
Then I'm a son. I'm my parents.
Yeah.
I'm a grandson. My granny. I've got a little brother, so I'm a brother as well.
Yeah.
So I'm a lot of people that make me. That's why I always say I'm a son, because they're the people that made me. I can't ever forget that. I'm the son of my parents.
Yeah.
The reason I'm here is probably because of them made me. I've got my brother, who's the biggest person in my life. So I'm also my brother, and that's what makes me, I think. You realise kind of where you are, my parents, my brother.
Having that.
And you realise then where you belong.
Yeah.
That you belong just below your parents, along with your brother and your family, and that gives you that structure where you can find yourself.
Excuse me, but it just thanks. But it goes back to literally what you said at the start, having that bigger picture, and just realizing that, listen, if football's taken away from you, young people when they're released at those critical ages, 17, 18, 19, that, do you know what I'm saying? There's more that you can give to the world than football. Do you know what I'm saying? As you said, you're a son.
That can't ever be taken away from you.
It can never, there's stuff that can never be taken away from you. There's so many other industries that you can get into. There's so many other stuff that you can do. Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of being known as a guy, Will, he plays football. Oh, do you know Will? Yeah, he's a footballer.
Yeah.
People will be like, no. Do you know what I'm saying? Will's a nice guy. He's done his, do you know what I'm saying? Leaving cert, all that stuff. Where people, you're not identified just as a footballer. And it's important to have that within you. It has to come from within.
I think it's important mainly because a lot of things in your life will come and go.
Yeah.
I'll be a footballer maybe for 10 years, 15 if I'm lucky, but not 20.
Yeah.
That's only a short period. I was a student for 10.
Yeah.
I might get a job and be an engineer for 5. So a lot of things will come and go and change, and certain things don't change.
Yeah.
My family won't change. I'll always be the son of my parents. I'll also have my brother, so certain things don't change, and they help you always know where you are.
Yeah.
You can be a footballer, an engineer, a bin man, a student, but you're always part of a family.
Yeah.
You're always your son of your parents or the daughter of your parents, or every breed. That doesn't change, and that always helps you keep balance in your life. So remember, okay, that's fine, I'm a footballer right now, and maybe I've got money right now, tomorrow I won't. Things will chop and change. Maybe I've got a girlfriend today, maybe I won't tomorrow.
Yeah.
But certain things never change.
Yeah.
And certain things help you remain focused in your life and give you a balance, a purpose, but not like to play a game or to be good.
Yeah.
But as a person, they just align you, and that's family. It's mainly family, to be all and end all. So it's
that literally is just so beautiful. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that point, that aspect of having an identity beyond football that you just explained, the family side. I never really understood that before you just said it. And literally what you just said is big facts. It's really good, man. But you moved to Norwich now, 17. Spent the next 2-3 years there now, up until recently before you moved to Barnsley. How was it? Do you know what I'm saying? Going through the ranks, 18s, 23s, and then eventually going on loan to League 2 at 19, 20. How was that experience?
Personally, Norwich was a great club. Everyone that knows Norwich knows just a good family club. So that was a great place for me to get my first experience of professional football. 23s. And training every day. I've never done that, so that's my first experience of that, training every day. And there's players who've been in the academy since 5, 6. So I was way behind. So catching that up, training every day, the facilities, all that was perfect for me, and the environment was perfect as well. To not be in that, tough environment. I was in a family environment. But I think, if I'm honest, the League 2 loan was probably the toughest 6 months I've had in football, in my football life. I was in Harrogate. The first time I came, it was snowing for the first 2 weeks, so I couldn't leave my hotel room. I was in a hotel room for the first month. It was snowing. I didn't play for the first 4 or 5 months.
Wow.
So it was probably the toughest.
Behind the scenes that people don't see, innit?
Yeah.
Of the journey.
I was in a hotel room and I would get texts every morning saying, training's off, too much snow on the roads.
Oh, wow.
And when we were in again, it was freezing. It was 2 degrees. I didn't know anyone there, obviously.
Just on your ones.
All the lads were 30, 25, I was young. I'd only been used to being in young change rooms.
Yeah,
23s and 18s, now I'm like trying to manage with dads and older men, coaches that I never met, players that I never met, staff I never met.
Yeah.
This whole new club, whole new ambitions and goals and objectives every day that I've never had these goals of like needing to just get these 3 points. I always had goals of like different goals 23, so everything was brand new and I was even playing, so that was tough as well.
How did that experience like shape you? Do you feel like that's what is obviously taking to the next level in your career? Shaped you, you know, everyone says the importance of getting men's football experience, like, and that's literally the real gruesome side of it.
I would say for me, the main statement I'll take from that period is that my mother always told me is to know your worth. A lot of times in those periods you can start thinking, I can't play in League 2, I need to go National League. But I knew I'm not playing here, not because I'm not good enough. It's the coach's choice. I know how good I am. I won't let this affect me, and it's tough because every day you're not playing, you're not in the squad, and you're thinking, nah, I'm not good enough, and it's tough. So that was that period. It made me build up a resilience to not let anyone decide where I belong, how good I am, and what I can do. I decide that. I decide what I can do, how good I am, where I'm gonna go. You can sit and watch, you can say whatever you want, but you're not gonna influence the trajectory. You can try, but nothing's gonna get in the way of it, and that was, it's tough to get to that. It took 6 months of me just battling through. On the Friday, get a picture not in the squad. Another week again, not in the squad. Another week again, not in the squad. And you're in League 2, and you battle through that. And then when you come out, as anyone knows, when you climb a high mountain, usually the view is beautiful. So I climbed that high mountain, and then next thing I know, somehow in October, I've made past experience in the championship. But I couldn't get in a League 2 squad.
A couple months ago, like, and that's how crazy how football works.
I think that's how life works. It's just
so like if someone doesn't see your value somewhere, you have to go to somewhere that sees your value.
I think it's as simple as that. It's just letting the outside do what it wants to do. You might play, you might get picked for a job, whatever. That's the outside, but you
control what you can control.
You remain yourself. Keep doing what you know what to do, and eventually, and there's a saying that when things get hard, then you know you're getting close.
Damn.
So when stuff gets to get hard and you start to doubt yourself, it means you know you're close. It means you're so close that you're about to, but you need to keep going because you're that close. When it's easy, it's fine, it's smooth. But if it's getting hard and you want to give up and you're not sure and you start doubting yourself, it only means that you're very close. It means you can smell it's coming, and that's when you need to double down. Because if I didn't know that, I could have just went back to Norwich, given up. But I got 2-3 appearances in League 2. Managed to get clips from those appearances, and that's what made Barnsley sign me, because they seen that he didn't play much, but what he did play, he was outstanding.
Well,
And it was just that. It was that when it gets tough, I knew that something's coming. Because it's tough, I'm doubting myself. It means that I'm at a level where I'm about to make it. It's that level of like when you're climbing a mountain and you've given everything and you've got 100 yards left, and you want to give up, but you know it's the last step. That's just I think people need to remember that when it gets tough and you start doubting yourself,
you're close.
It means you're getting there. You're close.
And that mentality is just the high performance mentality. That's the only way I can explain it. It's impeccable. It's amazing to be able to have that mentality, and I feel like, you know, it's credit to where you are now, as you said. And the amount of gems you're dropping right now, I'm telling you, this stuff should not be free, in my opinion. Do you get what I'm saying? You're dropping real gems here of, do you get what I'm saying, your experience of what it takes and the mentality. And I feel like this is stuff that you read that you find in books. Do you know what I'm saying? The Champion's Mindset, you know, a book that I just read, and like you're literally just explaining that. And do you know what I'm saying? I wish more and more people our age and young people develop that mentality, because, you know, a lot of people, as we said, you know, we don't all have that strength. And do you know what I'm saying? During that period and everything, where, do you know what I'm saying, you're not playing by yourself in a new environment, like, how did you cope with it? Do you know what I'm saying? You know, you always talk to me about meditation, mindfulness and stuff like that. How does that impact your performance? Like,
I think it just goes back to the point that I told you a few minutes ago, which is that, just like I said, there was certain stuff that didn't change. So no matter what's going on, I can take 5-10 minutes to call my mum and dad, because I know that won't change.
Yeah.
That's when it gets tough and you're a bit lost, go back to what I said, what you know will remain, so my family. And that's what helped me keep going, my family, myself, reminding myself every day, who am I?
Yeah.
You know, where do I come from? My heritage, my family, what have I been through? Okay, now I know. Today might be this. Before today, there was years and years and years I spent at home, away. There's years before today.
Yeah.
Before Harrogate, it was just 6 months, but I've lived for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've got a whole history.
Again, just a recurring theme, bigger picture.
Exactly, so.
And, you know, that, you saying that and your experience is like inspirational to me. Obviously, you know what I'm saying, what I go through in football and stuff like that. And just, it's so easy to look at the now and having that just short-sightedness. But, you know, it's just a reminder for everyone, do you know what I'm saying? Like, whether we're in difficult periods now, do you know what I'm saying? Injuries, getting released, do you know what I'm saying? Setbacks, not being in the squad and everything. We need to remember that it's just a short period of time. Like, we need to look at the bigger picture of what's going to happen this time next year. Do you know what I'm saying? Where we're going to be this time next year, we're not even going to remember what's happening right now in the days that go past. Or, do you know what I'm saying? The next 5 years, you're not going to remember. You just have to keep on focusing on what we can control, work hard and have that disciplined mindset.
You got examples everywhere. You got the most one that I think everyone will know is just N'Golo Kante.
Yeah.
He was at 23, still hadn't really made it yet. So if you're 19, you're trying to give up. He was at 23. He's got a physique that's not really known to be like the ideal physique. He's not necessarily the most technical player. He's not the flashiest player. So if he's 20, 21, 22 and he's like got all these negatives against him, he's got every reason to give up.
So
but now,
who are you to give up, innit?
You've got, and that's just one. I'm sure if you went looking,
there's thousands, there's
thousands, there's loads in every aspect of life.
Every aspect, so exactly.
It's just like
so it's like now, you know, we've got giving out all these gems. Like, what do you think for the viewers, the people that are listening, the people that are watching? Like, how can you, do you get what I'm saying, get to the mentality and the state that you are at now? Do you get what I'm saying? Of discipline, of, do you get what I'm saying, knowing your worth, of, do you get what I'm saying, just going when the going gets tough.
Yeah, I think that there's no set path for anyone. I think that everyone kind of decides that every day, the decisions you make, the way we act, there's no set act. If today, you know, you had to work and you gave up, tomorrow you have a chance. Luckily for you, this tomorrow you can try again. So there's no set way, there's no timeline, there's no, okay, I had a month of trying that, I didn't make it, it's fine. But I think that it's pure, it's an honesty. I think it's an honesty thing that you're honest with yourself on where you are, where you need to be, and that you need to be positive, but you also need to have that honesty of, I'm not good enough right now. That wasn't good enough today. That was good enough. Or this needs to be done. It's tough, but I've never run 5k, but I need to be on to run 5k. And it's that honesty of just being honest with yourself on what you need to do, what you've done, where you're at, where you need to, and on every aspect you're honest with yourself. Then once you've finished and you've hit yourself with the brutal truths, then we can do positivity. But first you need to know the honest truth about yourself, where you're at and where you're trying to go. If you don't know, then you're not going to make it. But you need to know the brutal, honest truth, and it's better to be overly harsh than overly nice. And once you face that, then the first will come, because my parents made me face that. They told me truths that you're not good enough. As I'm 16, you swallow it, you're like, are you sure? And it's tough, but you need to face that. So then, when you come out, and I'm at Harrogate, and the coach tells me you're not in the squad, okay, and that's no problem. I was 16.
Builds that mental strength.
Eating dinner, having tough decisions with my parents. Some random coach telling me I'm not in the squad is not going to faze me. Fans screaming at my face is not going to faze me. I have my own parents on to tell me brutal truths. And I was only 16, so no amount of fans, no amount of coaches will ever faze me in my life. That's just a fact that I know.
Amen.
But it's just that brutal truth. And then once you've, swallowed that pill and you've said, okay, it could be a long road, a short road, whatever road it is, it's your road. And then you go and then you try and you be honest and you keep that honesty, and then you say, okay, if you didn't make it, it's okay tomorrow. But being aware of that brutal truth of where you are, where you're at, that's something that I think you can look at anyone. You look at Ronaldo, they always seem to be negative because they have that brutal truth. They always seem to have that aspect of they know they have to work hard. You see Kante, he never stops running. He could stop running. He's the only player on the pitch who's allowed to stop running because he runs so much, but he doesn't.
They're never satisfied.
They always
It's
have
just
that kind of like that
that
aspect that
urge.
they need to keep going. And
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
main thing, is just that, just have the honest truth of just, I need to keep going, I need to.
Mm.
And that's the main one, I think. Once you have that, it's fine, and the rest will be fine, because you know exactly where you are.
Yeah.
Some people will just kind of like work, but you don't even know where you are. You don't even know where you're going. You think you do, but you haven't been honest enough to say where you are exactly,
Yeah.
what you're not good at enough. Maybe you're not strong, whatever it is, but once you know that, I don't care if you're the slowest person on earth or the strongest person on earth. Once you know that, you're already ahead of everyone.
Yeah.
Because you know you're in the right now, the real stuff. And that's the main thing. So before you pack your bags and go, you need to know what you need to put in.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing, I think.
Top wise words from William Hondermarck. Like, you're educating me here right now. Do you get what I'm saying? That knowing who you are, just stuff like that. Like, it's been great having you on the podcast, giving an insight into, do you know what I'm saying, the journeys and behind the scenes, and just showing people that, you know, footballers are more than football, that we're intelligent people as well. Intellectual. We can have intellectual conversations like this. That, do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, make sure you guys, do you get what I'm saying, check the link in the description. Use the code BeyondFootball at manscaped.com to join over 2 million people who trust their products. And yeah, like, bro, is there anything like you wanted to, do you know what I'm saying, add and say?
No, I would say obviously it was a pleasure talking, sharing it, and
Yeah.
that me saying it is just, I'm saying it, but there's a lot of people who've, it doesn't come from me really.
Yeah.
My parents should be here, my coaches should be here, my family should be here, if you want the honest truth. I'm just the one who gets to, you know,
So,
I get to say it, I've got the privilege of being able to say it and showcase it, but I'm really only just a small person. It's a lot of people who push me in every day to be who I am.
Yeah.
If they go away, I'll probably fall down, if I'm honest. I need that support because I'm only just a man, so
That's
I
it.
really should have my mum, my dad, my brother, my coaches, my agent, everyone who helps every day. They should be here, but you're never too big really. You always need people. You always need help, because there's a point when if you think you can do it on your own, you realise that
Beautiful.
you need someone. So
It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. Like, we can end on those wise words. Like, just make sure you guys listen to Beyond Football podcast, not only on YouTube, but on Spotify, Apple Music, and just most major platforms. And do you know what I'm saying? Make sure you guys subscribe if you want more gems like this. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, join the Beyond Football gang. Do you know what I'm saying? Just join us on this journey of highlighting and just stressing the importance of having an identity beyond the game of football. So yeah, we're out. It's been a pleasure. We moving.
so if that were